Okay, so question number one, your creativity. So these are actual, the survey is obviously bigger than this, but I pulled out some sample responses. A lot of them were similar. They know they can look up things they're curious about. Organization was big. I'll show you that on the last slide. They really feel more organized. They're talking about researching in their art class and their digital design. So they have given it some thought, and they're matching, well, here, this is how that helps me be more creative, a 21st century skill. How does this support your ability to collaborate with your peers, which I thought was most telling, because they're talking about a virtual communication. They're talking about creating Google Docs. They work on projects no matter where they are. They have spreadsheets that allow to see what other classmates feel about projects. They're able to work on their laptop, share a Google document, and then they go back and forth and they can edit it themselves. Other students can help them edit. And this one student says it makes it easy to collaborate with peers because we can all work on the same document at the same time, and no one has to worry about something's going to be lost, an important paper. So these are perspectives from 9th graders. How about communicating with your teachers? Well, I like number one because he says, or he or she says, I like to communicate with teachers face to face, but you know what, when you can't and you're out sick, I have a way to do it. If you have problems with your assignments, you get them fixed right away. You email your teachers. You're at home. You can get clarification to your questions. They really feel 24/7 connected to their teachers. It's actually becoming the norm for the students with one-to-one. Your individual learning, there were a lot of responses on research. They've been able to do more research. They help them that they help them understand that there's different ways to learn. They're getting very good at looking at internet sources to see which ones they should be using, which ones they shouldn't. Articles, videos, documents, rather than just reading or writing. There's more sources for me to learn from. And then when I get deep into classroom discussions, but don't wish to disrupt the flow of ideas, I can just look up a question online instead of interrupting class. And really that's telling, because that's saying, you know, I really have control of my learning. And in what ways has technology supported you thinking critically? We have one, they can look up vocabulary, so when they want to make a strong argument, you know what, they're not just using some words they can think of, they're looking up other words. They're helping them think critically by forcing them to gain better skills of reading long articles, understanding concepts, finding resources, making proper presentations, and they know that there's a lot of websites and programs for them to learn, get new information, and challenge their brain to learn better. So finally, which skills do you feel have been most improved due to the laptop program? This is a small sample, but I just wanted to tell you, like in real time, this is what the students are saying. And it's really interesting because the high 78.6, that was the highest, I think, rating there on organization. So they're becoming more organized, they're collaborating, they're communicating, and this is their perspective. And I asked these particular questions because, based on conversations with the technology committee and the curriculum committee, it really has been the focus. It's been, how are we getting our students to be prepared for 21st century? So this is a very small snapshot, very small data sample. However, you can start seeing some of the things that students are thinking. Teachers. This is a small sampling of teachers. The one teacher loves the program. The students have regular access to websites and programs that help to reinforce and extend their learning. And they go on, and what they're really talking about here, other than organization, is they really feel like, and I've read a lot of articles on this, is that the students start to own their learning, and teachers tend to then be able to be supportive rather than the sage on the stage model where they're doing all the talking. That the learning is really becoming more self-directed and collaborative, which we certainly are looking for. So basically, in terms of one-to-one, it's a difficult conversation to have because it is a lot of money to consider. But overall, I thought this quote was important. So we're talking about innovators, we're talking about collaborators, we're talking about preparing our Pennridge students for the future. We want them to be the leaders, and it's not about, it says America will not dominate the 21st century by making cheaper computer chips, but it's instead by constantly re-imaging how computers and other technologies interact with us. So it's really about the students and being driven, and then that is a tool that will move them forward. So these are some of the things that we are considering. We are certainly considering costs, and I certainly will go back and do a comparison, Mr. Thompson. But overall, we're really talking about building those 21st century learning skills. So that is my presentation for this evening. I will come back and give a comparison of costs. But if there are no other questions?
Are there any other questions from board members? Still
Can I get a question, please?
Mr. Thompson. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I want to congratulate our district for this work that is really groundbreaking work. And I would like to call attention to the last short quote that you, innovation is not simply a technical matter, but rather one of understanding how people and societies work, what they need and want. And what I would really encourage in terms of collaboration, that we in Pennridge reach out to other places around the world to try to start this collaboration, this communication with other civilizations so that our kids can learn how these people and societies work, what they need and what they want. Because I really believe this is going to be critical. This is going to be a global marketplace. And in order to be creative and in order to be responsive to what the rest of the world needs and wants, we really need to reach out and to understand their cultures. So again, congratulations on what you're doing, and this is in no way meant to be critical. It's just suggesting a future extension of what we're doing that I believe is really important.
Mr. Surtees, if I could just piggyback on what Mr. Thompson said. What was really encouraging when Dr. Scheid shared this with me, that bar graph that she showed you next to the last slide. Every year, the National Association of Colleges and Employers does a survey, and they say, what qualities are you looking for in the people you're going to be hiring this year? And these are the very skills, these 21st century learning skills. Leadership actually is tied #1 this year, but if you think about it, somebody who is creative and a critical thinker is going, and organized, is going to be a great leader. So I think this shows that we are on the right track trying to prepare our students for the jobs of their future.
Thank you. I do just want to add that I will be meeting with Dr. Lindsay Sides and Pam Dinan with one of our high school teachers, Kara Garsh, tomorrow to begin the conversations on, I've asked them, could you reach out to districts outside just the local districts and find out who else is involved in one-to-one? How's it going with them? How are they measuring their progress? And we will be asking them to join us as guests when we actually do establish the task force that has been approved.
All right,
thank you.
Did any question? Okay. I figured Mr. London, you're
Thanks. Robert Linden, West Rock Hill. That's probably the most intelligent piece of information I've heard in a presentation in the last 4 years on the subject of one-to-one. Thank you very much, Dr. Scheid. That was really well done. I sort of felt that this results of this survey represent a transition, an earlier transition in the teaching style from child learning to adult learning. Would you comment on that? In other words, what I see is the students using the computers are learning on their own without the help of the teacher. And instead of the teacher instructing them, they're going out and finding out information on their own and teaching themselves. I think that's called adult learning style. And I always wondered where that transition took place in this public school system, whether it was a particular grade where the teaching style changed from the child learning to adult learning. And I think this sort of answers my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Scheid. I guess we're done. And we'll move on to Mr. Torado. You're up next.
Thank you. I'm David Tirado. I'm the Director of Information Technology for the district. We put together a budget. We crunched numbers. We looked at programming. We looked at the one-to-one program. We looked at curriculum office. What do they have going into the future? And this is our budget. So in the 300 account level, we are requesting a budget of $387,325. That includes our Microsoft agreement, our training and development, our consulting fees, the help desk support. So that's what we're requesting this year. There is an increase in that account. We put in the budget a database assistant, database administrator to help Diane with our database needs, and that position will be an outsourced position through Quest Tech, and that is what we're looking at as of right now. On the 400 level, we have licensing, elementary teacher and lab replacement of computers. We're recommending a lease, and then the payment of the middle school desktop and monitors that we are going into the year 3 or 4, and that budget we're requesting $244,594. In the 500 level, that's where we pay for our internet services to the IU, the travel of our technicians, etc., and we're requesting $49,875.
Can you flip your page?
Sorry. For the supplies, here's where we pay for our SIS system, online registration, the financial system, web filtering subscription, and that budget was decreased to 216 with 623. That was a decrease in the budget. We really looked at some items in that category, and we could decrease the budget. On the here's where we pay for the wireless radios that we need for our wireless equipment. And as you recall, 2 years ago, the district decided to just buy as we need on radios. So we're going into the year 3 of our wireless network infrastructure. And this year we have the opportunity to get some of the funding for the radios via E-Rate. E-Rate has a new program that we could actually get a discount on our radios. And that discount is, if we're approved, is for the next 3 years. So instead of going out and buying all the radios today, we can actually say, okay, how many radios do we need this year? We pay for it, we get a reimbursement, then next year we look at it again, and then we do the same thing. And that is all based on our discount, and I'm hoping, I feel very confident that we will get funding for the first, second, and third year. And that budget for the projector, ceiling mounts, and radios, as I mentioned, is $57,173. The total technology budget for the 2015-2016, we're requesting $955 with $590. The last slide I have is just the infrastructure transfer that we do every year, as Kathy mentioned earlier. putting money away in case something for the future. Any questions? It's not, my presentation is not as exciting, but it's all numbers. Any
Yeah.
questions?
Can you go a little further, the elementary teacher in the lab?
Yes,
replacement
yes.
computer, is that all, I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so Kathy Johnson and I sat down and we looked at, okay, so the elementary teachers, as you recall last year, it was about this time last year, we had a need. We had a need that our elementary teachers needed updated equipment in the labs. And we had an inventory of Macintosh iMac computers, and with some research we decided to go ahead and put Windows on them to extend the life of those systems. And we did that. However, we're starting to find that some of the systems are aging. We have aluminums, what we call aluminums, and then we have some that have the black top. There's just two different types of processors, and we are finding that the black tops, the black backs are just very slow for some of the items that they need in the labs and in the classroom. So we got into the conversation, and we are recommending to replace all teacher computers and the labs. And we did some numbers, and that's how we came up with the lease. It just makes more fun, it makes sense. However, when we look at what is that we're gonna buy, as of today, we sort of know what to buy the teacher, but in the labs, we will be meeting with curriculum to come up with what type of device are we gonna put in the lab. Is it what replace what they have? Is it buying another type of device? Is it breaking it up? So we'll get our direction from the curriculum office. The other item to trying to think, there was something else. And this is just a replace. We're not adding anything new, we're just replacing what they have. Did that answer your question, Mr. Sinise? Did that?
So this is district-wide?
District-wide, all 7, and we took a number of the possibility of teachers that we have versus how many labs we have, and then we put a number together, and then we just, because right now, and again, as of today, we don't have how much it will cost, system will cost, we don't know what system to purchase, and we are not looking to doing this over the summer. We're looking to doing this into October, November timeframe, when we're completed with the summer, and then we can go out. Once we have what kind of system to purchase, we can go out onto the market and find what system yields the best price and the best solution for our teachers and the students.
Another question?
So the increase is 37,000.
What's the increase, the total increase, then is that about 37, 38,000?
Which increase you?
Which
Over last year, over
Like
last year's budget.
Like 137.
is about
It's more like
Where
100.
are we? Wait, where is
I
that?
don't know, just.
that slide.
Yeah, it's 130.
137.
Oh, there we go, okay.
Now, oops, I will say that I do need to remind the board that some of these things they have already approved. The Microsoft agreement is already approved, which went up in costs. We also approved the BCIU agreement for the WAN, that went up in costs. So some of these things, we've approved them because that's when the contract ran out, but obviously we had to increase them in the budget. And the increase is 137,363.
Right, something, yes.
I have a question when you get a chance.
Yes, Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, we've been talking about a phone system for the last 3 years, and I don't see it anywhere in the near horizon. Have we decided that this is not necessary consideration for our, and is this dealt with somewhere other than the technology budget?
Yes, Ms. Terrible time with this microphone thing. Yes, Mr. Thompson, that actually is part of the capital project and will be dealt with as we start discussing the next round of capital improvements for next summer, being the summer of 2016.
2016. And actually, Mr. Tirado has already started doing the research work on that, so we are getting that together. But yes, that actually was on our capital projects list for summer of 2016. And actually, the $250,000 that we're talking for a transfer, that's the type of, that's why we're putting money aside, so that when we do buy the VoIP or whatever phone system we buy, we do have monies available for replacement.
Thank you.
If you don't have any other question, thank you very much, and thank you.
Okay.
Don't leave yet, we have.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, both of them, oh, geez.
Just explain that the laptop replacement, is that going from Apple product to Intel-based product? I mean,
In which slide is-
Microsoft-based product?
Which one is that?
The elementary school?
No, the elementary, what we're gonna do is that, again, it's a replacement of what they have now. Now, they do have Apple products there, but they're running Windows.
Yeah, I understand that, but they're running Windows on top of iOS.
No, they're not, they're running bare,
Oh,
it's in the,
native,
yeah,
it's
yes,
native.
it's baked in there, yes, yeah. And the reason we did that is because we had all this Mac equipment and
Yeah,
we didn't.
I remember that.
Yeah, and actually, that solution has worked for us, and, you know, we will keep onesies and twosies in the classroom, the better ones, so we can leverage the cost to keep it low, keep it down. Any other questions? Yes?
So you're buying Apple products?
No, we're not.
Okay, so you will not, okay, I
No.
wasn't sure what your answer was.
No.
Okay, that was my,
No, we're replacing what we have with something new, and today I couldn't even tell you what that is.
so it won't be Apple.
No, unless the curriculum, no, but as far as what I have in front of me, no.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for tonight. We'll be meeting again for our regular finance meeting on Monday, which will also be a facilities finance, our usual, that's correct, right? At 6:30, I believe, facilities will be first, and then we'll have, and do we have something with the budget scheduled for that meeting? Or?
We're working on that, and I should know for sure if that's going to be ready for Wednesday.
Okay. All right, that's it. Thank you.